Aloha. Today is February 3rd, 2024. It's 8:46 a.m. and it's about 68, 69 degrees in Honolulu, Hawaii, on the outskirts of Chinatown. It's colder than it normally ever is in Hawaii, 90% of the year. 99% of the year, it's usually never this cold, never this chilly. I had a busy morning feeding my street cats. I feed two different colonies every day, and I make a lot of videos on it too. This podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts, so Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and you can watch episodes in its entirety at twitter.com/Gregory Brandt. I'm going to be doing this, and you're going to be listening to this, and there's no stopping that. So go ahead and save it, share it, and tell your best friend about it. Today, on the second episode today, we're going to talk about LeBron James. Word around the street, word around the campfire is Bron is getting traded from the Lakers, and he's probably okay with this as well. He wants more championships. He wants to be the GOAT. He calls himself the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And most people would say Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. Wemby probably will be the greatest of all time. Go Spurs. But LeBron James claims that he is the greatest of all time, and he has been to more NBA Finals than any other player in modern history. He's lost more NBA Finals than any other player in modern history as well. So what he wants to do now, as he only has a few years left, and this is the first year that there was a noticeable decline in his performance. So apparently LeBron is not going to sign with the Lakers next year and probably will be traded in the next few days here, probably to a contender. LeBron James has never requested a trade in his career. He's never been traded in his career. So this will be a first in his 21st season. And who are the suitors for LeBron James? Well, he could go to the rivals Golden State, join up with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. They could trade Draymond Green to the Lakers. Draymond Green would fit right in with the Lakers, in my opinion. Where else could LeBron James go? He could go to Philadelphia. They have the reigning MVP with Joel Embiid. They have a new All-Star and Terrence Maxey, who had a great game the other night with Embiid injured, and Terrence Maxey had a career high. They could Philly has some pieces to trade. He could go back to Miami. He could go to Cleveland. Cleveland is one of the top five teams in the Eastern Conference with LeBron James. That would move them up to a contender. And also, LeBron James could go to Dallas and team up with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. Um, Wherever he goes, it's going to be a contender. You're not going to see LeBron James traded to Charlotte. You're not going to see LeBron James traded to Detroit. It's the LeBron James owns the NBA, as Tim Duncan told him at the end of the NBA Finals in 2007. Tim Duncan told LeBron James, "One day this will be your league soon. This will be your league soon. You'll own this league soon." And LeBron James has never has there been a basketball player that's been more coddled and pampered and given everything that he wants, including every call and every um, positive news story. You don't hear any of the news stories about LeBron James's good friend Tristan Thompson being suspended for PEDs. You don't ever hear the federal investigation of LeBron James's former trainer for PEDs, and which had LeBron James's wife and himself listed on it. There's a reason that he's playing at the level that he's playing at age 39, and it's not all hard work, and it's more his availability to these procedures, which makes him the greatest of all time. And he is the scoring leader. As you can see, I'm not a LeBron James fan. Most NBA basketball fans are not LeBron James fans. If you're a LeBron James fan, You probably don't like basketball very much, or you probably don't know about basketball very much. Quick story. When I first started at the University of Texas in 2006, uh, I moved into this house in West Campus, and it was these bunch of spoiled brats. I was 26 years old, had been living on my own since I was 14, working full time at different jobs, having loads of life experiences. And all these kids were just the spoiledest, uh, no experience, just their parents paid all their bills. And at one time I was watching a basketball highlight, or LeBron James was on like a talk show, and they showed a picture of LeBron James, and he was dunking on Gary Payton, and Gary Payton was like on the like down there, and LeBron James was dunking, and these girls that knew nothing about basketball, they were like, "Look, he's only 2 years older than us." Like, and even though I was older than them, but she's just assuming everybody's the exact same age. And then she's pointing at LeBron James on the TV. She's like, "Look, he's only 2 years older than us." And then it showed LeBron James dunking on Gary Payton. And then they were like mocking Gary Payton. Like, look, he's dunking on that guy. That guy's all like they were making fun of Gary Payton. Who's that loser he's dunking on? That guy must be a bum, you know. And it's just like I didn't say anything, like explain to them. No, that guy's Gary Payton, aka the Glove, one of the best defenders and trash talkers in NBA history. But those they knew nothing about basketball, so they're like, yeah, LeBron, LeBron, and they didn't realize that the person he's dunking on has more credibility than LeBron, you know. But that's life, you know, and that's the you'll see more of that with the modern generation because they don't look into two things too much. They see things at face value and then they scroll up. You know, everybody has attention deficit disorder now, uh, even adults. And so it's hard to watch a movie. You ever see yourself on Amazon and you spend more time searching for what movie you want to watch. And then when you finally find something you want to watch, you start watching it for 5 minutes and you're like, can I scroll up? You know, like what is this? Like, you know, TikTok has made everybody that uses it have attention deficit disorder. So, more about basketball. LeBron James. There's a famous book called The Whore of Akron. It was written by a Cleveland sports journalist before LeBron James moved to Miami, before he signed with the Miami Heat. And it's a really in-depth take on the behind the scenes of LeBron James. I'd suggest reading it for anybody. But but yeah, I think the NBA seems more like a WWE wrestling now, and the way the officials have been officiating this year is ridiculous. And the leniency that they've showed towards the Lakers and who they want to win and who they want this, it's just pretty ridiculous. The people are calling out the officials, and um, this LeBron James going to a new team, it just makes it more like the WWE. So I'm not going to be surprised in the next few days if he signs with the Dallas Mavericks or if he signs with the Cleveland Cavaliers or whatever team. And you could say a lot of things about LeBron James. He did make the NBA more interesting, where it made it more normal for players to switch around and go to different teams. So I think that's a positive thing. But then you have organizations like the San Antonio Spurs who draft players like Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Manu Ginobili, and they keep them their whole 20-year career. And it's rare that anybody even has a 20-year NBA career. But to do it with the same team, like Victor Wembanyama, hopefully will stay with the Spurs for 20 years. That's a testament. And the San Antonio Spurs, my team, I'm the luckiest sports fan in all of sports because the Spurs have the highest winning percentage. And not just that, they have the highest character of any professional sports team. They have this one of the smallest markets of all of professional sports in the United States, but they have one of the most professional teams, and they can hold their head up high to not only being one of the best franchises, but one of the best, one of the most genuine, one of the most honest. You won't see this any Spurs players on magazines for bad behavior, and it's a testament to San Antonio, Texas, also setting a good example, being a good person, and explaining yourself with actions instead of words, showing yourself through actions and not just words. And The San Antonio Spurs have done a great job. There's no other team that I would ever cheer for. And it makes me believe in a higher power too, that those things just line up. There was only a 2 or 3% chance the Spurs were going to get Tim Duncan. There was only a 10-15% chance they were going to get Victor Wembanyama, but they did. And those are perfect Spurs characters. Perfect, not characters, perfect uh, Spurs players. You know, they fit the mold. It's just like, how could something like that just happen naturally? It makes me really believe in a higher power. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope you enjoy the podcast. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts. I do love NBA basketball, and this NBA basketball season has been the most exciting season in a long time. I took a few years off watching. It's the highest scoring season. There are some problems with the officials and different favoritism. Las Vegas betting has become a major factor in NBA basketball. But it's exciting to watch, and even if you don't watch the games live, I suggest checking them out on Twitter. NBA is huge on Twitter, also on YouTube. You can watch, the highlights. Just skipped right to the end. So even though less people are watching the actual live games. NBA basketball is growing still on social media, and everybody wants to be part of a community, even if it's an imagined community. People still want to be a part of it. And I hope you can be a part of my community, the Mr.G Hawaii community. Google it right now. Follow me on YouTube, twitter.com/Gregory Brandt for full episodes. And follow the podcast. Get the feed into your inbox. Have a nice day. Aloha.